this is a weird map, especially in ZvP. This plays out very weird, where because the map's so short, but the bases are so defensible, we're usually going to be seeing either a very early all-in or super late game.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be one or the other. Very rarely do we get the in-between, but I'm ready for it nonetheless. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Near Humanity, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Team Abydos. It is DRG.
And in the top left-hand corner of the map, it is the Polish Protoss playing for Team Liquid. This is MaNa.
Oh boy. And to put things into context for everyone, in case it wasn't clear, these groups are double elimination, and the winner of this series will move on to face Harstem in the next round. He may have fallen against Lambert, but he has another chance against the winner of this very series we have before us. I'm ready to bear witness as to who that will be.
Okay, as DRG going to be opening up with the rich gas base. This is something we have been seeing from time to time, whether it's a natural here or a third here. And it's often going to be a springboard for an early bridge attack. So I'm pretty intrigued to see what DRG has cooked up here for us.
Yeah, I am intrigued as well. This usually does lead to a big queen roach push, but not always. Bear that in mind. Sometimes you can take this base just to secure your third and fourth behind it, and you can just turtle up as well, be as greedy as possible, and kind of meet your opponent in the late game if the Protoss player is going for that sort of thing. So yeah, this does open up kind of a big, wide array of different play styles here for DRG.
I hear what you're saying. We've got to let him cook.
Yeah. Oh, don't bring up cooking, Papi. I haven't eaten yet. I have starving. What'd you eat today?
This. Oh, I don't want to talk about food. I'm so hungry too.
Oh, never mind. Fun fact, I thought that the event would start an hour later, so I ordered pizza. The pizza arrived, and then I was told that, hey, we're starting now. So literally the pizza is just off to the side, just waiting to be consumed.
Oh no. Yeah, I have food on my door as well.
Yeah. And this is what I was talking about, a robo opener here from MaNa. Let's go.
Wow, this is very different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking earlier about a charge lot all-in that MaNa went for against Reina. I was talking earlier as well about like an old-school Immortal Sentry build as well. But we'll see what this does lead to. With a robo opener MaNa, he can go for something like, I don't know, say a Disruptor drop opener, fast Immortals. Regardless of what it is, it's going to be quite aggressive here from MaNa.
Yeah, I think so. I wonder as well as if this is somewhat defensively minded, where he can be going for something aggressive with it, but you know, if he does get in trouble against a roach all-in, he'll have access to disruptors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not wrong. You know, he will have those disruptors very quickly. As we can see, we have the robotics bay on the way. We should be getting into War Prison speed and getting into disruptor drops as well. So with this, you're gonna be sacrificing a little bit when it comes to the overall kind of how solid your gateway army is without any Twilight Council, without charge, without blink. You do put a lot of onus onto your disruptors here to actually deal damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Okay, we are going to be seeing those gateways being slowly added, so it's going to be a little while, I believe, before we see a third coming out from MaNa.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, in the midst of all this, DRG hasn't been able to make it into the main base. He does confirm the Stalker at least, and if it was a Stargate opener, there would have been an Oracle by now, so I'm sure DRG is fully aware that something is wrong. He's going to be throwing down a Baneling Nest, and oh, actually, he opts to cancel it instead.
Yeah, a little bit of indecision here. I do think Roach Warren are probably going to be the safer option here, but yeah, he obviously suspects something is up. There's a very late third, and he sees a handful of these adepts as well, so it is looking like something's coming his way.
Yeah, he does confirm that MaNa is posturing to take a third base, so this can't, or this most likely is not like a Glaive Adept opener or anything like that. A Robo opener is now kind of looking likely here from MaNa as he's been contained onto these 2 bases back at home. DRG is just droning happily. He hasn't made it into the main base, so he doesn't really have confirmation of what exactly MaNa is up to.
Yeah, fast layer coming out from DRG though. I do think if he can piece this together and he does start transitioning into Mutas, that's going to be really difficult for MaNa to deal with.
100%. I also feel Mutas on the horizon, as especially with this rich Vespene Gas Geyser base as well, as it has been taken. We do see Lings once again just confirming the lack of third. MaNa does try to take the linear base instead, but DRG is looking to try and punish that, as there is no shield battery behind the Stalker.
Yeah, these Lings just going to be working their way through the Stalker. Quick reactions from DRG is going to be getting out of there without losing any drones. Just the 1 queen.
Yeah, 1 queen does go down. MaNa was quick to re-wall as well. The Stalker did fall, but alas was able to keep DRG out of his natural base.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. What do we have on the way, Papi? What do we have? Oh, God!
We're going into Colossus and double Stargate.
Are you getting some PVT flashbacks? You're like, ah?
A little, yeah. It kind of looks like Phoenix Colossus into Carrier.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate. It's crazy. Before that happens, the Disruptors are looking to get some more value here, but so far they've only gotten 2 drones, so great reaction so far out of DRG, just keeping up with all the rotations of these Disruptors, as once again they do threaten the mineral line, and oh, he's going for it. Ooh.
Yeah, DRG taking this head on, going for the splits here. We'll be losing a decent amount of units. These Disruptors just continuing to gain value here as, yeah, okay, it is going to be Phoenix. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
This is crazy. What is this? The PVT, Poppy? Phoenixes, Colossi, Immortals are coming out as well. It's like a haphazard, like Patty Mac build in a way. Yeah, this is wild.
Yeah, I don't really know how to judge this. I really don't know how this is going to go as well. I do worry a little bit from MaNa that he just doesn't quite have the meat on the ground to deal with a very committed Roach attack, which does look like is what's coming his way.
Yeah, I feel like maybe he's misreading the situation a little bit. Like, I can see the value in Phoenixes, especially if he thought that DRG was going to react with a Spire. And like Spire transitions are quite common against these kind of Robo Disruptor based openers, I feel. So he'll be able to shut that down completely. But against a Roach army, I don't know how useful Phoenixes will be.
Oh, he's getting +1 air though. There's going to be carriers.
Yeah, 100%.
If it gets held.
If we make it that far, I'm sure we will have those carriers. But before that happens, DRG is a little bit supply blocked. But once he does break out of that, he wants to go across map. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to assert himself here with his Roach Ravager. And we have an army to defend.
Oh, this choke scares me so much. This could be huge Novas coming out here.
Oh, God, we really could see them. And here we go. The Novas are going up. Up.
Oh, yeah, big connections there for MaNa.
Yeah, big connections on the Roach Ravager, but the Queens have arrived. DRG is committing to this push. Queens do take down one of those Phoenixes, but the Disruptors survive, and they're going to have another round of Purification Novas available.
Yeah, and we can really see some of the effects of how small this map is. DRG's just about creeped his way to the base here of MaNa.
Yeah, he really has, as the Cybercore is going down. We did deny +1 air attack. Bear that in mind. Meanwhile, the Disruptors have been dropped. We're looking for another Nova.
Oh, the dodge. Oh, he's slick with it.
Does dodge the Nova. Tanks the other with the Queens, but they can transfuse out of that. The overcharge is being popped. A shield battery does go down. We have 2 Immortals behind this and 1 Colossi. Yeah,
brutal timing coming in from DRG. If he can take down this Colossus especially, there could be some serious damage going on, but all it takes is for MaNa to just break through that front line of Ravagers, and suddenly this all falls apart.
Yeah, speaking of another massive Nova connects on those Queens as well. MaNa is holding on for a moment there. It looked like he was about to break, about to crumble, but the Disruptors have reset, and DRG is having a really hard time breaking in, especially with these Void Rays on the way.
Ooh, yeah, we will have creep tumors, bit of damage on the Queen as well. And as you were saying, these Void Rays they are going to be really hard to deal with just because these queens don't really have that much transfuse left after all those disruptor shots.
Oh, but one disruptor does go down. It looks like a second disruptor goes down as well. There's only one disruptor left. The Novas, they do not go off in time, and now DRG is breaking in.
Yeah, the queens are coming here to the base of MaNa, but oh, massive disruptor shot takes out 4 queens there. The value is insane, but I think DRG is starting to break through.
Yeah, exactly. The natural has been broken. 12 workers go down. The Void Ray is doing what they can. One disruptor was saved, I believe. Yep, it's here on the high ground, looking to try and get another Nova off, but the base itself does go down.
Highlight. The Void Rays avoided the queens. Avoided. The night is still young, Papi. We still have a lot more to go. Now is not the time. I need you, Papi. I need you. No, it is the time. Alright, natural goes down. We do catch the roaches, not looking. Fourth is coming up as well for MaNa, but he has lost 21 probes at this point, and DRG looks like he is pretty well situated to just set up camp here.
Yeah, exactly. As he breaks into the main base as well, we have 2 disruptors in that prism. We have a lot of Void Rays as well, but the Lings, they get on top of the disruptors. They can't get a Nova off. The Void Rays are doing a lot for themselves, but I do think that the main base is compromised.
Yeah, the Void Rays are doing well, but they're not really stopping the roaches from doing their damage in time. The probes are still going down, these pylons are still going to be going down, and the roaches are expendable in this situation as long as they're getting damage.
They really are, as one of the Stargates falls as well. We have reinforcements coming in from the backline as well. The Colossi does barely get saved. Hopping up micro from MaNa does keep it alive, and he will be able to force a DRG out, but behind this DRG, he's still got a solid economy. He can still rebuild and remax. He has a hive!
Yeah, DRG with a very healthy lead here. You can see the supply differential pretty high, despite MaNa having pretty high quality army here. I do feel like DRG is quite far in the lead now.
He really is. He's caught wind of the 4th base, and there's no shield battery here. There's no defensive structures whatsoever. The Lings, they get into the mineral line. The roaches do zone away those stalkers as well, and MaNa just cannot hold on.
Yeah, I mean, Void Rays just are not a great solution here for Lings, so as long as he can keep the Colossus specifically away from them, they're going to be able to do their work. And 17 probes going down. Looks like MaNa down to only 40 probes here. He has done a good job of rebuilding them consistently, but it's not looking like it's going to be enough.
Yeah, exactly. As he's struggling to even deal with these Lings. Meanwhile, the 4th base is going to be going down. MaNa's going to be knocked down to 1 base mining, essentially, and an oversaturated base at that. He does have a pretty technical army. You know, we have 2 disruptors, a Colossus, some Void Rays as well, but he just doesn't have the numbers.
Yeah, and now I've got Hydras coming out as well, so these Void Rays are going to start going down.
They really are. We do have a Hydra range kicking in. Hydra speed is on the way. Nice hopping up micro on the Queens, I guess, and we're going to be able to pick some of those off. But again, like, the investment into these Phoenixes was pretty perplexing to begin with, and now here come the Vipers.
Yeah, Viper's going to be yoinking all those disruptors. No, Nova's going to be going off. GG is called, and DRG, with that protracted attack, is able to take down the greedy MaNa.
GG, very well played there by DRG. Meanwhile, a very interesting build there from MaNa to go for a disruptor drop into Colossi production into double Stargate Phoenix. No one does it quite like MaNa.
Yeah, that was a very strange build, but I do feel like specifically a lot of these Korean players, DRG, Solar comes to mind as well. They're extremely good at punishing weird stuff. I feel like that probably just comes from a lot of ladder play on Korea, where you know that if something very strange is going on, you can just kill them if you're crisp.
Yeah, I mean, they grew up and they competed in the era of partying, of SOS as well, of so many aggressive players from many different races, and because of that, they're just accustomed to this. You know, they're completely unfazed, and yeah, I appreciate the uniqueness of the build there from MaNa, but maybe just a little bit too crazy, a little bit too chaotic in the face of a player like DRG, especially on a small map like Neo Humanity, where we could see that DRG can be so aggressive and so so in his face.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the idea on such a small, choky map.
Mm.
Even a few disruptors make things very difficult, but DRG was persistent and he got it done.
Mm.
As here he is, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map for Abydos. It is the Red Zerg, DRG.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressfarm, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa. As DRG is able to get down his hatchery once again. He did it on altitude, he did it here on Gressfarm. That was a 14 hatch.
Yeah, so DRG going for this cheeky variation just to avoid the probe block here. I do feel like maybe as well this is, if he's a bit worried about adept builds, he can kind of circumvent some of the danger of that by doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I don't blame him as a Zerg player. I'm sure he himself is still even terrified of Glaive Adept builds from time to time. So yeah, it does help him not just defend against Glaive Adepts, but also have a more secure defense against the Oracles as well. In general, you know, getting your natural, it's nice. It's nice, Bobby. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do it every game, but every now and then you just gotta treat yourself.
It's true, you know? You just want to spoil yourself, Bobby, you know? Like some of these other races. They take it for granted, but we can't, Bobby. We can't. Oh. Smooch.
Yeah, that's right. So he's just gonna be getting things coming together pretty standardly. I don't think we're gonna see a Robo first again from MaNa. I feel like he does play the standard style pretty well as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure we're going to see a very different build. Typically, when we have a very unorthodox play style, we don't want to repeat it multiple times in a series. Even if it works, it can be a really risky thing to do. So, yeah, as a result, MaNa goes for a Stargate opener.
Yeah, okay. I think especially on a map like this, you are a little bit more free just to go for that standard play, and you're going to be pretty safe from just about anything.
Yeah, exactly. Quite safe indeed. Meanwhile, we have MaNa just being a little bit annoying, and it looks like the probe will barely escape. Does throw down a pylon to delay that third base, but only for a couple of seconds here. I say it's a couple of seconds for a decent amount as DRG finally does get his third up and running.
Yeah, there we go. Third goes down. MaNa going to put pressure on with the Adepts here as well.
The Adepts have arrived. The Oracles are on the way. There's no Gigafast third base this time. We're reserving that for Hearthstone. As MaNa is a little bit more sane.
Yeah, almost weird to see an Oracle come out before the third base.
Yeah. I like
a normal gateway tapping as well.
He's crazy, Bob. He's crazy. He's actually, you know, playing out a standard ZvP.
He's playing Star.
He's playing StarCraft, Poppy. I'm sure DRG is happy to see this. I'm sure he's like, oh, thank God. I've been going up against all this nonsense all day today. Finally, just a regular game.
Having to play against clowns.
And now I can finally go for my 6-6 drone like Rocholin. Let's go. Oh God, we'll see as the Oracles are going to be looking to scour the edge of the map here, looking to find some damage as well wherever they can. But we have two queens already here in the main base, and DRG is just going for a standard response here to a Stargate opener as well.
Yeah, Evo going to be going down for that fast +1 melee as we've seen him doing before. MaNa gets a good bit of damage there. 3 drones going to be going down, trades that out for a lot of hull, and I think that's a fairly even trade between the two players.
Yeah, definitely. He has to be a little bit careful, as you mentioned, that Oracle has sustained quite a lot of damage and hopefully is able to regenerate those shields and get the hell out of there in one piece. Meanwhile, back at home, Twilight Council and a Forge. No crazy skipping of the Forge here like we saw from Zane earlier today. And MaNa is going to be getting into a pretty standard setup to go into the mid game.
Oh, charge. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Charge Lot Archon instead of the typical Blink Stalker composition instead. So MaNa going to be throwing a little bit of a twist here, a little bit of a wrench into the works. And Yeah, with this, this is kind of designed to do well against these more heavy Ling Hydra compositions if we did kind of go straight into that. But DRG is being sensible, like he's throwing down a safety Roach Warren, just in case.
Yeah, Rich Warren there on the way, and yeah, this could go a few different ways. We have seen a lot of the European Protosses as well just play this into a very standard defensive game. This could, I guess, go into 3-base Colossus timing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really can. Like we've seen players like even, I don't know, like Skillus, a little bit of Showtime. I mean, Showtime has his own way of playing PvZ, to be fair. But as you're saying, to just kind of slowly set up for a 4th base, to get your Archons out, Immortals out as well. Creator does this quite often, where he just stays on 4 bases a little bit longer until he does finally push out with a very robust robo-based army. It can be quite terrifying.
Yeah, and MaNa has been collecting some zealots along the way here, so does have a pretty healthy count here. I guess he only made the 1 Oracle. That's so interesting.
Yeah. He did make 2. The first one died. We did miss that, but it did die at some point. Meanwhile, the Zealots have arrived across the map. But pretty interesting timing here before too many upgrades do kick in for DRG. But he does pull back to the safety of his natural base.
Yeah, beautifully done there by DRG. Just brings all of those units back in where the range units can set up that concave on them. None of the drones are in trouble. We do see a few drones going to be going down now as MaNa splits up his zealots and creates a little bit of havoc, but not going to be the most amazing trades here.
Yeah, 5 drones for, let me quickly check, for 10 zealots. Not a bad trade here from MaNa. It is a little bit worrisome though, because he did force a large reaction out of DRG, and with that, he's going to have quite a force to counterattack. Roach speed just now is about to finish up, and DRG is looking to be assertive on the map.
Yeah, Ling's being made behind this, so we do have that potential, but MaNa here going into Immortals, going into Archons as well. It's going to be a very sturdy, very strong defensive army. This kind of army is especially difficult to push into if it's sitting back on batteries like this. So I think he will be able to keep himself relatively safe. It's going to be more down to whether DRG can split his defense between the 2 bases and mainly maybe go after the mineral line.
Yeah, we'll see if he can pull that off. His Ling's going to be scouting this 3rd base location. They confirm the army positioning as well, the army or the defensive setup at said 3rd. He checks the northern bases. He has also seen the southern base, the 4th base taken by MaNa. It looks like DRG is just going to be waiting a little bit longer, amassing an army, waiting for Baneling speed to kick in, and he's going to be looking to potentially take down this 4th, as there's significantly less here to defend.
As soon as you said southern base, I was just picturing all the probes wearing cowboy hats. This is the base down south.
That's not what I meant.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Aye. Oh my goodness, the Banelings roll on in. Where's the reaction here? MaNa probes are gonna fall.
Yeah, 7 probes going down, so that Bane run by at a bit of an off moment here before +2 kicks in is going to get some nice damage. Took out 2 High Templars as well, which is actually huge.
Oh yeah, very big pick off there from DRG. I'm also just thinking of the Carbot probes line dancing. That's what's going through my mind right now. They're playing the, is it the Nutbush? What's the song? You know what I'm talking about.
I think that's an Australian thing. But
yeah. I mean, we are pretty far south.
As we do have that split attacker coming on in here. Looks like this left side should be mostly okay, but the Roaches are starting to break through here, taking out a couple of those gateways. DRG gonna conserve his units. I think that's wise here.
Yeah, he won't fully commit. He's going to wait out that overcharge and then dive back in when he has rebuilt his Ling Bane army. On top of that, I believe he was able to take down the Disruptor. Yes, the Disruptor here on the left-hand side did go down as well. And that was the only Disruptor here for MaNa.
Yeah, now MaNa really being penned back into his bases, not really able to get that gateway up. The Stasis Trap's going to be taken out as well. These Archons are nicely positioned, and DRG really doesn't want to waste his Lings there.
He really does not. Meanwhile, the Banelings roll in once again, and these probes are trapped. There's not really too much. There's nowhere to go.
Ooh.
Up!
Oh, nice force field, but it's not really enough. The Banelings get on top of the probes, 19 of them going to be going down, and DRG has the damage he was looking for.
Yeah, and he wants some more as Banelings do get into the mineral line as well at the third base, 20 probes in total, and he barely loses any of his roaches either. Such efficient trades here from DRG.
Yeah, I really love how he's using the roaches kind of as a vehicle to get the Ling Bane on top of the buildings here.
Yeah, exactly, and he is not done. He is rebuilding, remaxing, and coming in once again, this time diving on top of the Stalkers. Enough time has passed where an overcharge is now ready to be popped here at the third base. Another Disruptor does come out as well.
Yeah, we have an overcharge, we have a Disruptor, and some Immortals as well, so really nice roach busting army here for MaNa, but is it going to be enough as DRG just continues to batter away at this base?
Yeah, I mean, he has his 4 bases up and running. He's up to 81 workers as well. He has the economy to sustain this, to just keep on building up this army time and time again. We've got +3 melee on the way, and these Baneling run-bys just don't stop here at the third. And again, just because of the way that the SimCity is set up, depending on the angle of attack of these Banelings, there's just nowhere to run here for these probes, as we saw.
Yeah, MaNa is definitely having a tough time getting that done. And wow, Viper's done already, so these Disruptors are going to be no factor whatsoever. Probe line goes down, and the base is in some real trouble as well.
Yeah, exactly. Mineral lines,
my
both
goodness.
mineral lines do go down. The Immortal Army is going to be able to stand strong, but that's the only thing that's standing right now as the Archons are being focused on one after the other. The base itself barely holds on.
Yeah, base barely survives. 30 probes go down. We're down to 50. Oh. Then just stay still.
Yeah, if you don't move, the Protoss can't see you. They they rely on movement sensors on their faces. MaNa doesn't know, Papi. He doesn't know.
The oracles are like, wait, we always hit.
Oh, he saw, Papi. He saw. He's going for it. Ah. Smooch. He wasn't hurting you, Papi. He didn't even pop off a spell. He was chilling.
It's part of the scenery. He just lives there. You just went to his house and killed him.
Yeah, feels bad, man, as the Viper went down, and I'm sure MaNa's going to be happy about that, but the Baneling run-bys just do not stop. And once again, these probes are trapped. 13 workers, 15 do go down alongside the third base.
Yeah, and those force fields just going to sift through those units like water. Doesn't really stop them. They're going to be getting away, and all the probe damage has been done. DRG just running away with this game. Still has another Viper there. Despite that, going to take a massive shot on these roaches. I think as long as these Banes survive, he should be just fine.
He should be okay, but we'll see how this does transpire. We do have a bit of a yoink on one of these Archons. The Banelings do run past the army as well. Disruptors being focused on one after the other. Unfortunately, there is no prism to keep them alive. Oh.
Yeah, Viper goes down.
Yeah.
We have that token force field just doing something.
Vibing. Oh. And, you know, that was a pretty efficient trade from MaNa. The Banelings did rock up, but there's nothing here.
Was,
oh,
yeah.
no, the turn-swing workers! No!
GG, well played is called. DRG takes game 2.
GG, well played. Congratulations to Dongregu as he does advance on here in the lower bracket, looking to face off and have a rematch with the player that knocked him down to begin with. But a shout out to MaNa as well, because he did have a very unique style, especially game 1. Like, game 1 was such a fun game as well, just because of how quirky MaNa was and how unorthodox that build was, I should say. So yeah, a lot of fun here from MaNa. But alas, here in game 2, DRG had a much tighter hold on the game itself.
Yeah, MaNa puts on a show, and we appreciate him for it. Always a showman. A bit of a YouTuber himself as well. MaNa's got a great YouTube for learning Protoss. But unfortunately, will not be going on to face the other Protoss YouTuber. We are going to be having that Hearthstone vs DRG rematch, and that is going to be for the ticket into the knockout bracket.
Oh, exactly. And oh boy, I'm really excited about this rematch because I want to see if DRG has been able to ruminate, if he's been able to just, you know, think about his initial series, thinking about the opener as well of Hearthstone that he's been going for, and I wonder if he has a better response, a better reaction, a way to punish Hearthstone, or maybe to kind of accept his fate and, you know, try to get into a longer, more solid mid-game scenario instead. I'm really curious.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if he can force Harstem to stop doing this 3-minute third.
I kind of don't want Harstem to stop, I'll be honest. Keep going, Papi, keep going. I'd be okay with him to do it again and just win with it anyway, you know, and just flabbergast DRG.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see something a bit weird and wonderful playing off that, but yeah, there's a lot of potential here. We could be seeing another 40-minute banger.
we really could, and yeah, best of luck to our players as they're currently conducting their vetoes and getting ready for their next match. Meanwhile, I'm just quickly double checking as well, and yeah, unfortunately that does mean that is the end of MaNa's run here in this tournament as well. There is a knockout bracket, don't get us wrong, but I believe you do have to make it a certain way through the tournament before you actually qualify for the knockout bracket, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and yeah, it looks like MaNa unfortunately not going to be making it through, but yeah, this is a really cool matchup. I feel like I'm kind of cheering for Harstem just because his first couple of games were so endearing, but it'd be cool to see DRG make the comeback as well.
Yeah, I think we're kind of spoiled for choice here. I think regardless of who wins, it's a shame that only one can and the other their run ends in day one of ESL Masters Summer, which would be such a shame. It's such a shame that so many good players have to go down this early on, but alas, that is kind of the way of things here. I also do have confirmation that these players are qualifying for that knockout bracket to work their way through into the playoffs, which means that if we don't make it out of the group stage here, that's it. That's our tournament run done. It's over.
Yeah, pretty punishing setup this time. We don't have that same kind of staircase that we did last time, which did create some really cool storylines, but was a little bit hard to follow, to be fair.
Yeah, if you remember, DreamHack Valencia it was group stage 3, group stage 2, group stage 1, and then there was the knockout bracket as well, where literally every player was funneled into. Like you didn't get eliminated from the tournament until you made it into that knockout bracket. So we got a lot of games as a result, but as you mentioned, like a lot of that wasn't casted either, just because there was so much going on. I mean, we casted it all via replays because we could do that, but like live at the time, even with like 4 community streams going on, like not everything could be casted, and it's a shame. It is a shame.
Yeah, definitely. So a bit more of a streamlined setup this time, and we still get these nice storylines, like the one that's coming together between Harstem and DRG here.
Yeah, Harstem and Greed. How greedy can he get? That is the question. Oh boy, as if we do have a look at the bracket, !B in the chat, we have a lot of updates going on. We have some other players qualifying as well. And if you want to go over that, Asher.
Sure. Okay, so it looks like Hero Marine has been able to make it through the Protoss Gauntlet there, taking out Arrowfire, DNS, and Nightmare to qualify there in bracket B. And meanwhile, we do have Nightmare waiting in the lower bracket there for the rest of the bracket to finish up and for his opponent to come. Meanwhile, I don't see any results for C or D.
Yeah, so my understanding is that we start off with Group A and B, then when they wrap up, we start off with
make sense.
C and D. So not everything is starting at once. That is my understanding. So
yeah.
We're kind of nearing the halfway point here for our broadcast. I don't believe we get to cast the knockout bracket. I think we're only covering this group stage, this open stage. So yeah, we're gonna ideally, I think we get to cast two groups. I guess 2 groups.
Are we gonna look for Trigger Mixu?
I have my eye on Group D. I do have my eye on it. It looks really spicy. Do you want to go Trigger Mixer? We can go for Trigger Mixer after this. We can. I was thinking Drogo Creator into a laser. That's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We also had I think Lirimbo was in here earlier asking for Time versus Fiant.
Is it Fiant or Fajant?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Swedish.
Okay. Well, I'm not Swedish. I don't. I don't know. Yeah, they were like Group C. I don't know if I want to dive into Group C. I don't know. It does look it looks like a PvP group. I'll be honest. I'll be honest.
They all look like PvP groups.
They do. But I mean, we've been avoiding the PvP so far. To be fair, we have been avoiding them.
True.
True.
Wait, you want a PvP? You want
do.
Drogo vs Creative?
I do. I need at least one, Pappy. I need at least one.
Is it because you know that Drogo likes to make balls?
Yeah. I need my balls.
Okay, I understand. We'll see what we can do.
We'll see. Speaking of, it looks like the players need a little bit of a moment to themselves, and I don't blame them. So we're going to be going on a short break. So don't go anywhere. But of course, you do have some time to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, stretch your roaches, hydrate all your hydras, and when we return, we'll have our final qualifying match for Group A.
All right, don't miss the rematch. It's going to be a banger. See you soon.
Easy.